everyone. Okay, so I'm in the kitchen garden and today we're going to build a couple raised beds. I want more planting space, and since I haven't been able to acquire the greenhouse that I want at the price I want to pay for it, I'm gonna just do the some raised beds. We're gonna make them out of the composite board that we got as scraps. So we're going to use the scrap board to do it. They won't rot. They should last forever. And then I'm going to plastic line them so the soil doesn't come out. And then I'll have more room for vegetables. As you see, we still have the tulips going. And the kitchen garden is a mess right now. We'll have a video showing why we did irrigation to all the beds. So we'll have a separate video for that of what we did. Okay, so we'll get started. Okay, so this is the irrigation line we've had put in. It's connected to our main sprinkler system, and we're gonna have one approximately 3 by 8 foot bed on this side, one 3 by 8 foot bed on this side. We're keeping the symmetry of the kitchen garden, and then we're going to put one trellis up front and one trellis in the back. That's going to U over top of both of the beds, and this will remain an aisle or an alleyway and allow light through the middle of the bed. Okay, so we've laid out the boards. We're going to go 3 boards high, so it's a very deep bed, and we've put the bracer board that we're going to connect these boards to about halfway into the first slat. So it starts here, and then we put the 3 boards, and then we marked along there with a pen, over here with a pen, and this is going to be our cut line. So we're going to cut it, and then all of the posts that are going to go inside the raised bed to brace it will be cut at the same height.
So it's 14 1/4.
Okay, so what we're doing right now is we're clearing the stone away from where we're going to set the beds. Okay, 12 8-foot boards to go 3 high, because we'll need 4 sides, each having 3 slats. And he's just measuring them, and then we will cut them.
Just I wanted to point out, if you never did this before, or you didn't know, if you're cutting a long board and you're using 2 separate horses, one for your saw and one to hold the extended piece of board, your saw obviously is higher. The surface where you're going to make the cut, it's almost the size of a 4x4. So take a piece of 4x4 scrap and set it on there, and that's going to give you a level. Otherwise,
gives you a second set of hands, right? So yeah,
you don't have to have anybody hold it. It's giving you a level cut, because otherwise that would be about 3.5 inches lower, and you wouldn't get a square cut. You'd have a slightly angled cut, so when you're trying to put pieces together, it's going to cause a little bit of a problem. So just something to make it a little
I think it's
easier.
a good tip.
All right, 1 down, 11 to go.
Here's another tip. They make safety glasses that will go over your regular sunglasses or reading glasses or whatever you need. These are both for me, so I love these. I don't even have to take them off. Okay, so where are you measuring from?
Okay, so these were composite deck boards that were 20 foot long, and I know they were cut. So when you get them, if you use this or even a lot of lumber, the tag from the factory is going to be on the end that was a factory cut. So you can pretty much be sure that that's a square cut. So I'm measuring from this end and cutting from that end. If I measure from that end, if it's not a perfect square, then the cut we make is not going to be a perfect square. And again, it can cause you some problems down the line when you're trying to put corners together. So if you have wood that has a tag from the mill, always measure from that end, especially if you know it's been cut. Now, if it's a brand new piece from the mill, from your local store,
Both ends will be square, right?
You're probably safe that both ends are going to be square.
Yeah.
But, so, yeah, it's a little something to keep in mind. And then you can just put a little mark in the center and then use your little carpenter square, drop it right in place, and then you can put a longer line on it. Not too much of an issue when you're using a chop saw like this, because you know, you're getting a straight cut. But if you were using a handheld circular saw or possibly a jigsaw, you'll want to have your line the whole length of the way. Oh, that's another thing, always cut. So if you see your blade is probably about a 1/16 of an inch in thickness. So when you make your cut
on the short side.
Always cut with the inside of your blade on the line, because if you cut down the middle of the line, or if your outside of the blade is on the line, you're going to be short.
Yep.
So just another little thing. If you've never worked with a chop saw, miter saw before, something to keep in any saw.
Any
really.
saw, yeah.
Keep that in mind. Table saw.
Okay, so they have a clip to pinch it off. So generally, this is brand new, so you can just slide that clip right off your end usually. You might have to squish it a bit. The end will slide off, and this is what's used to pinch your lines. And so this is eventually going to tee to both sides. So what I need is enough line plus at least 1 to 1.5 foot excess on either side, so that it can be tapped into and we don't end up short. So it's better to have too big of a cut than too little of a cut, because that kind of stinks. So it's going to be way more line than we're probably going to need inside the bed. But before you just click them and then it cuts it really easy. The cutter does all the work for you. And then I'm just going to use this again to get a general idea of how long the second one will be that will go inside the bed. You just open them up by just grabbing them apart. Whoops, wrong way. And this is 1/2 inch line. So this one will go in this side, this one will come out that side. They'll come out the bottom and the top, and then we can tee off into the beds to get them irrigation. So what I'm gonna do is, you can see some water's coming out of the line when they tested it. I'm just gonna turn it over and we'll put the, whoops, sorry about that. You gotta slide it on first. I haven't done it in a while. It's my first time this season. slide it a little further than it needs to go, and then slide it kind of in the middle, and that'll hold it. Pinch it off, the water won't come out or leak if it's turned on again before these are hooked up. Okay, so I think he's gotten all 12 sideboards cut, or close, right?
Yes, they're all done.
They're all done. Okay, and I got the irrigation pipes done, and all the bracers are cut. So it's about 1 o'clock, and we're gonna take a lunch break really quick, and then get back to work. Okay, so what are you asking?
Okay, so we want the inside of the box to be 36 inches. And right now, excuse me, we are at...
Don't mind us.
We're at almost 39, so we need to come in about 3 inches. So you want to move this side in to give us a bigger center aisle?
Yes, and we're going to show you, well, basically what he's done while I was getting our lunch is he's put 6 bracers on. And then what we're going to take is between the 2 center braces.
Right here.
We're going to have another, what are these 4x4s?
Yes.
Another 4x4 going across, and that's going to short together, because what were you saying about these? Even though these are heavy boards, they tend to kind of bow.
They have a flex to them.
Yeah,
right?
they flex.
So there's going to be a lot of weight in here ultimately. So that 8-foot span, the center is going to want to push out.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is, put one bracer, just one, across. We'll attach them to the 4x4s are there, and that'll hold it all. It won't be able to move on us.
Okay. Okay, so we've laid the board, the second board on. He's already got the first board screwed on. And now we're going to do the second.
And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to angle this slightly so that it will, because we want there to not be any opening, or as little opening as possible between the boards. So I'm going to put a little pressure on it with my knee, and then when this bites into the 4x4, they'll actually pull it down and tight against the other composite board.
Okay, and so are you doing 4 screws per board?
Well, I did on the bottoms. It's really not necessary. I probably just did a little overkill because I'd rather have, especially on the bottoms, but we can just do, probably what I'm going to do is like 3.
Okay.
I'll put 2 and then just 1 in the middle. That should be plenty. Now, you know what? I got plenty of screws I'll put forward because they are going to be under a lot of pressure.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so hopefully it'll start to make sense why we're overlapping and leaving the end. This one, that wall stands up. We're actually going to put plastic inside, and then soil will go over these bracers so we don't see them. This is just the fastest, easiest way to do it. So you can see the ends overlapping. Ray, do you want to explain why you use these Trex screws as opposed to just using regular screws?
Oh, sure. So obviously when you're putting the composite board down, you're going into, well, here we're going to a 4x4, but if these are deck boards, so if you're going into a normal deck, you're putting them on joists, which are basically, 2x8s or 10s. So the thickness of the composite, the back end has a left-hand twist. So like a normal screw, it has a right-hand twist, but this part here is going to be in the wood. Then it goes to a left-hand twist that's in the composite, and then it countersinks a little bit, and it really bites in there, and it gives it almost like a double screw action, so that it's very difficult for these to pop out or work themselves out. The only thing is with these screws, if you notice when I'm drilling, it's almost like when you drill with a drill bit, the wood, the composite on that left hand twist is being pushed out of the hole. If you see all the little shavings as I take it down, so if you mess up and you put a hole in these, you can back that screw out, but it's never really going to bite again. So you want to be very careful that you don't make a mistake if you're using these type of screws. And if you are using composite board, I highly recommend that you use these, because if you use regular screws, you might have some problems down the line.
You might be screwed later.
But if you wanna, you can see what I'm talking about. So that all comes out, and then if you back it out, it leaves a hole. There's nothing for it to grab onto anymore.
Okay, so that's one wall, and that's what it looks like. And you can see it's going to be really deep. How deep is that now? Did we measure, or?
It should be about 16 and a half.
16 and a half.
Yeah.
So you can customize these to do it. If you just want a, a lower board, you can do what they call them deep beds anyway, the 15-inch or something.
It's actually like 16 and 5/8.
Okay, 16 and 5/8. So this
it's
is
a nice
really,
step.
yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
nice
real nice depth.
Yeah.
Let's see, what does that come up to a me? Probably, oh, it's just below my kneecap. So that's going to be a nice height. You can kind of just sit your butt down on it when you're working on the plants or planting. So that'll be really good. So that's it. We're going to do the other side, and all the boards will go, and then we're going to put a board, well, 3 boards going this way on either end. Okay, so we switch into regular wood screws now, not the decking screws.
Right.
Got the level on.
And for these purposes, make sure you get exterior grade. They are treated and less likely to rust, whereas if you just use a common wood screw that would be for like interior of the stud walls of your home, obviously these are going to be subject to, they're outside, and they will be subject to water a lot, so you don't want them to rust out on you. Yep. So we're at 37 inches. So we can either take this apart, cut the board, or we can make the bed 37 inches.
We're going to make it the bed 37 inches.
There you go. The boss said make it 37 inches.
That's
we got
what
it
we're
on
doing.
video. There we go. Oh, and by the way, get as many tape measures as you can, because like if you're like me, I'm notorious for setting them down and then I can't find them. So I probably have about 4 of them out on the job site right now.
Yeah, that's why they have clips on them. We're supposed to clip them to our belts, but we don't.
Yeah.
It's very satisfying when that thing chokes in like that.
Yeah, when you hear it
Yep.
grab that wood.
Oops.
Nothing like it, right?
Yep.
Very nice. Right on the money. Not too bad.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is, because
She's
this
a beauty.
ground, we did a lot of leveling with the stone, what we'll do is when we put the boards on, we're just going to attach them even if it's high or low on one end, as long as they're matching the bottom of the posts.
Yes.
Everything will match up, and then we will put stone under to
Yeah,
keep
to level
from
it
being
off.
like a
Yeah.
teeter-totter.
And remember, we're going to use plastic to keep the soil in it.
Yes.
not go
Absolutely.
out the base.
Okay.
Okay, so this is now your measurement for your end boards. Because these have flex, they will flex in. So the measurement is from outside here to outside over there. And that is your, for all. So now we need 6 outer boards cut to that length.
39 inches.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so on this one, sweetie, what I need you to do is just cut the end off. You see somebody hit.
I see.
So we can just take
Someone buggered it.
a little off of that.
Is that too much though?
No, that's good.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, well, he started without me, so we're putting on the ends now, and we're just meeting it with the edges, and it should all shore together. And just like on the sides, there'll be 3 slats. How about here? Do you need me to hold it?
Maybe. Let me get a screw started, and we'll see. Let's.
First box is done, except for the trim and the plastic. Okay, so now we're gonna staple it, but we're gonna keep it below the soil line so that it's gonna hold it, because we don't want soil eventually, because everything settles, seeping through the cracks. And then again, as I said before, we wanna make sure if you're using pressure treated, your pressure treated is covered, so it's not seeping into your soil. And then we kind of did an extra here, but we will trim that back a bit and then put landscaping fabric so we get plenty of drainage, but no soil loss. And this staple gun works just fine for going into the tracks. Okay, the landscape fabric is not necessary. That is going in for one simple purpose, to kind of keep the soil in one spot, because just in case we do get our greenhouse and we want to move these out, we will be able to do it easier and remove the dirt in a cleaner way. So this is pretty much what that is for. Okay, Ray almost has the second box totally boxed in. So this project is coming to a close, and we are going to, after he gets this boxed in,
I'll just put one screw in each board. And
okay, then we're going to head over and try to come up with something more decorative for the corner pieces, just for the outsides to bring those seams together and make it look kind of trimmed.